here at Bayona's RC World. It's been a while, and well, today, just in the little room that I have here, which is gonna be my temporary shop for now, and this is my third bedroom. All right, so you see right there, I'm sitting down, but anywho, so today, I am tinkering around. Let me go ahead and transfer this camera to view. I'm tinkering around with the Top Flite P51D Mustang that has been put on the back burner for, almost 2 years, right? Okay, so what I'm doing here is initially here, F10, which is that former. I went ahead and in the build series on the fuselage build, I went ahead and left all these pieces on. I CA'd it on there solid, and I also put a real thin piece of light ply to really strengthen this whole area up, because I was going to use a retractable tail wheel from Robart at the time. Well, because of Robart, no longer at that time, I went ahead and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and, instead of using Robart or trying to figure everything out, I'm just gonna use the E-Flite 6120 retracts for electric retracts for the main, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stick to the tried and true stock tail wheel. All right, so I went ahead and I had to take off that light ply that I had there. I had to open up all this so that I can go ahead and situate the tail wheel platform. Right. So I went ahead and I soldered everything up. On the P40 Warhawk, I did not utilize the ball link setup as indicated on the instructions. I went ahead and I just utilized a straight rod, and I soldered an L-shaped piece of rod there and made it one piece so that they won't have any potential failure. But for this one, just so that I could get started and get back, and I went ahead and I'm utilizing the original ball link setup. And so right now everything is smooth. It's operating pretty well. I don't see at this point, if it fails, it fails, but because this is tried and true, a lot of people have been flying it this way without no issues, then I guess. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And so we got that going on, and then I just got to go ahead and drill this out and glue that on there for the support here, and then I can go ahead and finish up the bottom of the fuselage. So that's basically what we are doing here. And yeah, so as you can see as well, the servo bay has been moved from the original spot on the plans further back, and I know I mentioned that on my videos. The reason for that was to do a full cockpit with sliding canopy and all that stuff. Am I gonna do that now? I probably will, but we'll see. We'll see how everything goes from here on out. Like I said, just still dealing with all my other stuff, health stuff, and now things are somewhat a bit more manageable at this point. everything is still, we're still doing pain management and everything like that. So it is what it is. All right, guys. All right, so what I am doing right now is I am getting the horizontal stabilizer elevator done up. So I hinged the elevators, and so I can go ahead and get the, what you call this, elevator control rod placed in there. Okay, so I need to go ahead and also kind of fine tune the stabilizer saddle here. It's kind of rough, but anywho, and so we need to get these tabs properly, shaped and everything, so it can get glued to the side of the fuse and the stabilizer, or the fin. And so that's basically what I've been doing. And yeah, so this one has been pretty fun, to be honest. Not okay. Trying to do this with one hand, which is not going to work. So let me just get this on here. Of course it's not going to work right now. Hold on, I'll be right back. You know what? Let me just go ahead and put you guys right here. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. There you go. Oh, just way too damn easy. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm dealing with here. Once I can get everything all situated like I had earlier. There you go. Now let's see it. Alright. Okay. There we go. And so I gotta go ahead and really fine tune that so that the horizontal stabilizer can properly sit on that, and also elevators come down. This should be 0 degrees. No incidents there. But other than that, this is what I'm talking about here. So you see how it should be touching that, like this right there. Okay, so this is just basically tack glued on there. So once I glue this little strip to the side, this gets separated, and that remains there. All right, so should be like that, and glued in. And so that took a while to do. I didn't record that part. I just did that off camera. And I also found center, and I also measured from different points to that center mark there to properly gauge the horizontal stabilizer. So I also put tick marks there, and also gauging it from this point, which technically I should put the wing on, but because I can't really drill the wing yet, and I can't mount the wing, therefore to get an accurate positioning of this, I don't know. So I can't enclose the wing yet until I get the retracts. Once I get the retracts, then I'm able to go ahead and enclose that. and then get it mounted, and then measure everything off of that. But I think I can still do this just by getting the proper measurement from center there, and then get the fuse leveled properly and everything, and then measure from the table to the bottom of the horizontal stabilizer to get the proper angle as well, to make sure it's horizontal. And then I can go ahead and actually epoxy that all in there and get that at least done, so that I can tinker around with the vent, the intercooler or radiator exit vent. Alright, so we got the intake will go there, and then the exit, which will be servo operated with throttle. So every time you full throttle, this whole part will open up, so through air will go through the intake and then out to the back. And because I already opened up the front, you know, I did that to give it more of a scale, you know, look. And yeah, so even on the wing, the ply pieces that actually fit in here that you epoxy, I'm going to cut open holes on that, like just like lightning holes. It still should give enough strength for the wing dolls, you know, but it's just going to be a few lightning holes. That way it'll be through and through from the front intake through that wing plate right there, the former, and then it's going to come out and open up through there. And so what I'm going to do, so that air doesn't fill up this whole backside cavity of the fuselage, I'm going to just make a little duct that goes strictly diverts that air directly to that exit, so all that air is not going in the inside and causing like parachuting, if you know what I mean. So cause more drag and then cause some funky flying characteristics. So do not want that. I just want to get the, you know, make it look scale and everything and make it look pretty cool. But at the same time, I don't want to really alter the flying characteristics of the plane. So I'm gonna go ahead and just enclose that, make a little ductwork in there, you know, just so that the air comes in and goes straight back out. So it's like a through and through, you know. Yeah, other than that, that's what I've been doing today. That one took a while, and yeah, I feel kind of slow, you know. So took a lot of breaks. But yeah, other than that, there that is. I want to finish the bottom, and before I can do that, I got to make sure that this is epoxied on there, the linkage is actually connected, you know, make sure everything's secured, and then go ahead and finish up the exit, cap that with the balsa, start shaping it up and everything, and then we can actually start doing the top portion of the fuse. I already had the firewall all measured out for the Sato FG21, and so I have the bolt pattern there on the front, so I'm not worried about all that. So I can technically, you know, enclose all that. The only thing I won't be able to do would be completely do the front nose blocks and shaping until I actually have the engine. So but other than that, yeah, so that's, I mean, for this being sitting for 2 years, this is the most that has been getting the attention. So I have a good feeling about this, guys, that this is gonna actually get done, and looking forward to it. So I still gotta take care of that guy down there. You know, that's also gonna be powered by and a Sato FG21. So I gotta get two FG21 engines, and that's $599 each. So, you know, geez. But yeah, so I gotta get that, get all the servos for that. You know, of course, same thing with this, but we're still far away from that at this point. And gotta get this guy up as well. So the goal is to get all three of these, to include that heli right there, all ready to fly, hopefully before the end of the year. So anywho, all right guys, put you away for a little bit and come back later. I'm getting that horizontal stabilizer all situated there on the fuselage, and I'm doing this without the wing. Normally you would mount the wing, attach that wing, and square it off, basically center. Since the wing, I am not done yet. I still need to enclose it and everything before I can drill it and get all the wing bolt mounted stuff going on. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna do it this way. I get success doing it this way in other models, so we'll see. I mean, worst case scenario is crooked. We don't want that. So we got the main level, basically bubble center and everything. And so we're going down here. We're looking at it like this as well. And it looks to me, it's kind of hard to do it like this. I'm trying to, it hurts. I'm trying to show it to you guys through the camera view. But yeah, so we're looking at it like that. Based on me looking at the screen, it looks as if it's a little bit tilted more to the right. So just giving you guys an example of how we're going to be eyeballing this and utilizing the levels and everything like that to get this horizontal stabilizer mounted on there. But I'm going to be doing it this way, and then to get it centered, I measured the width of that fuse there, and I got center off of that, and then from here, and I'm marking it based off of this edge right there. So I'm going there to there, and that's 29 3/8. And so far, 29 3/8 on this side, 29 3/8 on this side. So as far as the positioning of that stab, that is straight right now. Now it's just a matter of doing it this way. All right, so once I get that all done and I mark it and everything, then we're gonna epoxy that on, get this part situated and everything. So all in all, I'm gonna probably be able to finish up at least the fuselage up to the firewall. I won't be able to enclose that firewall. I mean the nose portion, the engine bay area, until I actually get the engine in. But at least I can do all this, do the top turtle deck area, canopy stuff, and yeah, we'll see how that all turns out. But other than that, that's pretty much what we got going on. Most part of the day yesterday was just basically sanding the saddle, getting all this, getting the hinges on there, getting the elevator halves done up, and the tips here, which is these are just tack glued on there, and that basically will be glued onto the side of the fuse and then removed. Other than that, yeah, so that's what we got going on. All right, so we'll go ahead and take care of the rest on that part, and hopefully continue recording and doing other stuff to have content here. All right, guys, so we got the horizontal stabilizer epoxied on there right now at this point. So what I got here is the level. All right, so you can see that here, the fuselage is basically straight, leveled like that. And the reason for that as well is to also make sure that we get the incidence basically 0. Should be pretty much straight from trailing edge, leading edge to that line. All right, and then we got also the placement of the horizontal stabilizer. We got the T-pin right there, basically centered on the width of the fuselage. All right, and then from there to roughly where that line is right here, where the stabilizer tip and the actual stabilizer sheeting, that line is what I use as my marker. And so from that to the T-pin is 29 3/8 on each side. And then we come back over here, and then we get the, ouch, that's my knee. And we get the stab, pretty much. I'm trying to utilize the line in the center with the hinge line to make sure we get that, you know, straight, because the way the stab tapers down like that. So yeah, that's where I'm getting at. So don't look at it like that per se. And if you do it like this way, you see from the top of the stab to the top of the straight edge, the distance, you could do that as well. But I'm trying to use the center marker of the hinge line as what I'm going off. But it is what it is. So right now, the epoxy is just curing. I'm just gonna wait for that to finally cure up, and then I will go ahead and attach the linkage stuff and get the vertical fin also epoxied in there and everything installed. And so, and of course, I'm gonna drop that. But anywho, so what I was about to say is, this is the clevis that I'm using. There's also Loctite on that. I'm also using the I'm gonna be using the locking pin or locking clevis thing, which is this guy, so that this will never have the chance of popping out, since all that's gonna get enclosed right smack in there in the middle. Okay, so yeah, still some stuff to do. Other than that, that's it for right now. Just waiting for that to cure up and everything, and then we'll go back in with a little bit more epoxy from the inside and put some more epoxy in there. So yeah, other than that, that's about it for now. I mean, this is the most that I've gotten in the last 2 years, so progress. We got the whole tail section basically epoxied in there, hinged up, elevator control surface beveled and hinged. We got the rudder, of course, beveled and hinged since 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. But yeah, other than that, as you can see, with the trim tabs, not trim tabs, balancing, counterbalance thing on here. So everything's already hooked up. Well, it's not to a servo, but as you can see, control wire. Alright. So for the most part, it is what it is. Yeah. so I am not using the plastic clevis that comes with the kit. I'm using metal clevis with the lock and the nut, and it's with red Loctite on that. That way it doesn't undo itself or come apart. The only thing that's the plastic part is the control ball link thing for the rudder, but you know, it's not like we're going to be trying to do hardcore knife edge maneuvers. You know, we'll use rudder, but we're not going to be doing 3D with this plane. So just flying the scale. But other than that, yeah, so from here we're going to go ahead and enclose the bottom. I'm going to leave the top open here so that I can work and make the rear exhaust thing, the rear scoop that comes down. Yeah, so I'm going to make that, and it's going to be servo activated. And so what I'm planning on doing is here at the front where the wing, basically the dowels go through, right smack somewhere in the middle area, maybe about right here, which still keep a lot of material so that, you know, the integrity, the strength is still there for to hold the wing and everything. But that's going to be a hole, and I'm going to make little ductwork that goes straight back to that vent that comes down. That way, when all the air goes through this main scoop, because I'm also going to make holes in that the ply that's there. So when all that air rushes through, it's not filling up the whole back compartment. In other words, it's just going to go through a little ductwork straight. So it's a pass through. It's just going to go straight through. That way, it minimizes a lot of drag and everything like that. Because if I just make the thing come down, all that air is going to rush in, fill up this whole cavity. It's going to cause it to have a lot of drag and probably even alter the flight characteristics of the plane. So I'm just going to make it go straight through and straight out. Eliminate all that air underneath the turtle deck area type deal. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. And it's going to be servo operated, so when I deal with a throttle, full throttle, half throttle, whatever, it's going to move. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do it through throttle or just manually do it through a slider. We'll see. Yeah, and since I did move the servos from there to back here, from originally there to there, this whole section right here, I get to kind of open that up, have a interior kit kind of drop down in there, and of course we're going to be doing the sliding canopy. So yeah, I'm very excited to even get started on this thing. You know, this is the first time I actually had a model that I started and didn't finish. I'm always pretty good at starting and finishing, you know, but unfortunately a lot of things happen. You guys know that. But anywho, that's pretty much about it for today. So I went ahead and just enclose the bottom, just like that. And so that's all enclosed. I just roughly cut the balsa there, and so we gotta sand that smooth and then kind of taper it based off of the plans here. Other than that, yeah, I need access to get in there so I can make a little ductwork and all that. And I already had glued this one stringer on there, so we'll see if I can still access that. If not, then I'll cut that off. But yeah, other than that, sheeting, typical. This whole top part It reminds me of the P40 Warhawk. So if you want to know how to basically put the 1/8 sheeting on top of that, you can refer to that video as well. It's 1/8 by 3.5 by 30-inch sheeting that is basically cut down based off the pattern that's provided with the plans. And then I just soaked it in water and taped it down basically to wait till the water dries, evaporates and dries up on the balsa. And eventually when you take it off, the balsa will hold that curvature around the formers. And so that's basically how we did that. Like I said, you could check out the P40 fuselage build, because I did that on there. And then we went ahead and I cut out the side sheeting as well. And so that's this, and that's gonna get also wet down and kind of formed along that. And then of course we gotta trim that up front right here. Alright, so other than that, and then once it's sheeted up there, we'll sand that smooth, and then we'll plop on and form that around there as well. So still got some work, but once that's all done, and all that's done, and then we start shaping the contours of the fuselage. The fuselage, basically the main portion, the brunt of the fuselage assembly and build, will be complete. It will just be pending the front nose area with the engine and the bottom cowl. But yeah, that's pretty much that in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions in regards to the build itself, since it's been a few years now, go ahead and leave it in the comments. If you guys have any specific questions, once again, just leave it in the comments. I'll answer it as soon as I can. And yeah, if you're also building this and you're further along, then awesome stuff. I'd like to hear about you guys' experiences on it. This is not a one-off anymore because we got Planes Revive cutting out these kits, and also Planes Gone By. So we got two small businesses basically cutting out the Top Flight kits, and both of them are awesome, and good guys as well. So if you are looking for a Top Flight kit, I suggest to go and check out Planes Gone By and Revive, Planes Revived. You can check out their Facebook groups. You can also check out their website. I'll go ahead and leave their websites in the description box and stuff. So you can go ahead and go directly to their site and check out what they got. All right. So this kit here, this is the original Top Flight kit. So when you order from Planes Revive, Tim, he's gonna basically provide you with a good quality laser cut kit and accessories and all that stuff. I mean, you can check out what they got and stuff. Don't quote me on everything right now because things change. And then Planes Gone By, Carl, he has some kits available as well, and he's also doing some cockpit kits and stuff like that, and cowlings and all that stuff. So they're both doing awesome stuff for us hobbyists who love to build and also admire the Top Flight brand. So we got giant scale kits as well, and their inventory is just growing. There's a lot of work, but it's growing. Alright, so other than that, I'm gonna just wait for this to completely set up and everything and dry, and then I'm just gonna, rough sand it and eventually sand the sheeting and everything else up here, sand it flush to the firewall. So I'm gonna remove my Sato FG21 extension block that I got there. With the FG21 engine, it comes with the aluminum engine mount, which will basically sit right here and extend the engine further out. All right, so the reason I got this is because I used the Sato FG21 that I actually had on my Cessna 182. Took it off of that to just to get the proper measurements and all other stuff. And then I popped it right back on that plane. So, yeah. All right, guys, how we doing? All right, so what we got going on right now is basically going to be cutting out the opening for the rear scoop. Now, I've been looking at a ton of pictures online and diagrams and everything, and well, the real P51 is a little bit more round on the bottom, so this is more flat, to be honest. And I don't wanna grind any more down on this to try to get it a little bit more round, because there's only like a 1/4 inch tri-stock right about here. So I don't want to grind too much material, and then it's not going to be good. However, with that said, this is as contoured as it's going to get for now. And so base, I don't have actually any measurements. I'm just eyeballing everything. And so this is what I got. I know in the real Mustang, since this is a little bit more round, the actual scoop closes on top of the curvature portion, and this is actually almost half moon look. Thinking if I did that, kind of did like a half moon instead of straight, kind of cut this a little bit more like that. Something to that effect. I think would be okay. So yeah, I mean, I really don't have to do all that, but I want to. Mess it up or not, hey, I just patch it back. So it is what it is. But yeah, let's go for the gusto. Let's go ahead and we'll cut this out and see what we got from there. Got to reinforce some parts in the inside because there's two rails that run this length right here to kind of stiffen things up. So we'll see. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting into this thing. Try to cut this thing as straight as I can. Sucks when you got neck issues. use it. There you go. Okay. Sorry about that. I have to look for my little saw thing. Damn, really sucks. That's pretty much freed, except for this part. Need a blade for that one now. Once upon a time I used to move a little bit quicker here. Brake tight. Oh, that. Sorry about that, guys. Whew. Can't stare down too long. Damn. just clean this up. I'm still gonna use this, or I'm gonna make a new hatch. I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah. Alright, we'll cut into it. Let's go see. Yep. So that's pretty much the hole. Just gonna clean it up a bit more. It's not flimsy, but I could stiffen the sides up a little bit. Yep. Cool. So this, we're gonna build this up into a little door thing, and this is gonna come up and open like that, and then close. So pretty cool, pretty cool. All this for scale realism, right? But yeah, it is what it is. Doesn't look all that pretty right now, but eventually once I clean it up, sand it, all that. Excuse me. Alright guys, on the rear scoop, and so I just wanted to kind of showcase that real quick. I'm only using AA batteries on this thing right now at this point for my receiver pad. So servo's kind of weak because I need to get a new servo for this. This is just one of my junk Futaba servos that I had laying around. So here it goes. So I need to, I think I need to extend the servo arm, make it a little longer. That way it can droop further down, but at least I know it functions and it will work. So as you can see in there, I got my servo. So I need to get a longer servo arm and of course a better servo. So yeah, I can go ahead and basically enclose the top now at this point, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. I do have another servo laying around. I do actually have a mini aligned DS 515, so I might install this one because this is also rated for 6 volts, so should be okay, and should be faster as well, because I think this one was used for cyclic or helicopter. So yeah, I'll probably use this, give it a try, and we'll be right back. As you can see right here, I got the rear scoop, and this scoop basically was just cut out from that opening. And what I did was I just went ahead and attached some light ply to give that shape. This technically should go straight up and down, you know, like a triangle type deal, but well, I'll talk about that here shortly. So initially I actually had it the right way, but when I went ahead and I put the deck inside here to separate, like a little baffle for the air to go through here and come out here and not occupy the majority of the rear fuselage internally, I put the baffle kind of too low, and so that little peak right there was hidden this part, and so yeah, I had to go back in and kind of shape this, cut it down a little bit so it can actually go up. So it don't make a difference really, because when it does come down off the model, you only see that part. Not like, it's not like you can see it, right? But anywho, now when it comes to the actual model itself, um, as you can see in there, that hatch basically is a micro or mini servo, which is going to be in there just like that. Okay, and so you can access that servo should something go wrong, the servo burns out or whatever, whatnot. Because once everything is enclosed, once I enclose this whole top section, you won't have access to that. And so I had to come up with an idea and be able to access that servo. And plus, I don't have the servo right now, technically. This servo that I got right here is just my little mock servo. So when I do purchase an actual servo, I'm gonna have to look for a micro or mini. Yeah, it really don't matter because I can remake the hatch. But I just wanted to get an idea of what it's gonna look like and if it functions properly. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up. I'm not gonna power it up and everything, but I'm just gonna hook up the thing, the rear scoop, and then we'll see how everything works and how long I need the servo arm, if I might need to reposition that servo further back to get a longer arm, etc., etc. So yeah, all that, just pretty much trial and error. As you can tell, you see the baffle. I don't know if you can really see it, but that deck, that floor down here, that's just a sheet of balsa, and then I kind of stiffen it up a little bit to keep the weight down and stuff. And when you look at the model through the front, and that's the baffling in there. So all that air will, how much air goes through there, will go through this hole and just go straight out. You can see it, there's a little pocket in there that is blocked off as well, so no air will go further back. I didn't want to block it off completely right here because adding more weight again to the tail. So not too sure. I might put maybe 1/32 or thinner 64 light ply, kind of just to bridge that together. I don't know yet. We'll see. But anywho, that is that. And then I went ahead and I put the hinges in like this. And of course, this is going to be fiberglass, an epoxy type deal. So I'm not worried about all that. It's going to hold. And yeah. And then I went ahead and I made slots into the bottom portion of the balsa there, and that way this thing's basically will slide in there like that. Let's go see if I can put it in there right now. Try to do this on camera. There you go. There you go. So just like that. And then this rod goes into the hole. And that goes directly to the servo arm. Just like that. Okay. So that'll go directly to the servo arm. And then you'll be able to go up and down, up and down. So, yeah, well, as you can tell, I put that hole kind of too far to the left. It needs to actually go more to the right. I can go ahead and flip the control horn the other way. That way I don't have to cut that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. But yeah, so that's how I got that. Now I can go ahead and basically finish enclosing the whole top section today. So At least we got that and we can access that. Alright. Other than that, guys, that's in a nutshell the Top Flite P51D Mustang. After 2 years of just sitting, is actually getting worked on. So looking forward to making more videos. Unfortunately, I didn't really record so much since we started. I did take a lot of photos and everything like that, but really it's not like I was explaining a lot of things. But I'll get caught up, continue making videos. Alright guys, how we doing? Alright, so today is July 15th. And what I got done today basically was just installing the servo, well, a servo. I installed a DS 515 aligned servo, which is rated for, if I'm not mistaken, 6 volts. And so I got the rear scoop basically operational. Alright, so I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Right now, my main concern is that it's operational, it works. Okay, and so let's go bring you guys in and show you exactly how that all worked out. Okay, so as you can see down in there, we got our servo. Alright. And also the ductwork, basically. That whole bottom side for the radiator scoop all the way to the back is basically baffled off from the rest of the fuselage. So if I take you to this side, you will see, and then also if I take you to the front. Okay, so it's baffled off, so the air goes through there, goes directly through and comes out. So hopefully this works during flight. We'll see eventually during the maiden. We'll see if it drags or causes any adverse flying effects, and then we'll just basically say screw it and we'll just shut everything up. So, but for now, this is what we got going on. Alright guys. Okay, so basically we started off with a 1/2 inch by 3.5 inch by 18, if I'm not mistaken. Basic stock like this. Let's see if I can zoom out here. I guess I can. But anywho, so basically it's this stock right here, and I made a little template to get the proper angle per se for the stab right here. So I just took a piece of cardboard and made this little template here, template guide, and that's what I use to get that angle here and transfer this over to this balsa piece. So I did that. Alright. So I got that just like such. I drew out my line like that. I went ahead and I did it to the other side as well. So basically popped it on here like this, drew my other line, so I got both sides, and then I just connected here to here utilizing a square. I just plopped it on there like so, made my line, then went to the front side, got the start of these two. No, it's not exact on this one because I'm doing it pretty quick. So, and then I just connected the two lines from here to there, all right? And so, utilizing your straight edge, I just basically connected the lines here, all right? And so, all this basically is gonna get cut down and shaped. And so how I got that shape is basically I'm utilizing this old rasp. And this rasp has a contour to it. It's kind of half moon on one side. And so I just went to town using this rasp and got it shaped up. All right, once I got that shape, then I was able to go ahead and pop this on there and taped it down real quick. And then I took my pen and I roughly outlined both sides and also the front towards the former. Took it back off. Those lines are now transcribed to the stock. Then I just basically took a blade and cut it out roughly. And there we are. This is where we're at right now at this point. So doing all that, now we got the rough. All right, so from here, I put a few drops of medium CA on this piece of balsa. So I'm just waiting for it to dry a little bit. Once it gets dry, then I can come back over here and start shaping this top stock balsa to the actual aft deck or turtle deck type deal. All right. The reason why I took it, I'm not really gonna glue this on yet and shape it, is because to get to this part here, it's gonna be difficult to shape it on your vertical stab. All right. So once I get the majority of this properly shaped, coming back to this end, then majority of from here to here will be shaped, or at least close to. So when I pop this off, now I can just follow the all the way to the tip here by utilizing the sandpaper without damaging this. And then once that's all said and done, I can basically come back, pop it on here with glue, permanently attach it, and then finish it off. All right, so that's basically how I'm gonna get this one done. Because I really do not wanna glue it on right now and then start trying to get this nice curvature all the way to this tip right here without damaging this or the fin, okay? So I'm just gonna roughly shape it from here, like I said, and pop it off and finish sanding it off the model. So that's how we're gonna be doing that. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the aft deck block here so that we can finish shaping this back end here. And so I did this off camera because I had to go outside to do this. But how I got this right here rough is your basic horseshoe type polishing type deal, right? So you just take your sandpaper and you just little by little just go down the whole thing and basically sand it. And so I got the rough shape, we got the curvature. It's not completely flushed, like it's not really sanded into the side of the sheeting here, because I didn't want to do that and sand it perfect right now and then remove this, and then when I glue it back on I'm kind of offset. So we got to make sure that I have a little bit excess material, or I still got some material to really blend this all together once it's all said and done. All right, so this was only tacked on here, so hopefully we can remove this without damaging it. And so let me get my blade here. I only tacked it so in certain spots, so it's just a matter of breaking the glue joint there. I hate cutting towards myself, so I'm gonna start over here. So I know I didn't tack this side down. Just where I got the glue joints at. There you go. So now I can take this back out there and finish up this port by doing the same thing, and or using a sanding block so I can have more control. And then we'll be right back. All right, guys, so just like that, came from sanding this outside, and so I get to pop this on here and get it back to as close as I could to the when I popped it off. All right, so it's gonna be just like that. I'm gonna glue this back on, and this time it's gonna be glued on for good. And then from there, I can actually start blending this top aft deck into the sides of the sheeting of the fuselage. All right, now the main concern was mainly this part here. So this right here looks good. I can still tweak it a little bit, but for the most part, I think it'll be okay. And then for extra measure, as you can see, the fin, dorsal fin thing fits perfectly right on the model with no gaps for the most part. All right, so yeah, for the dorsal fin, I already have everything marked out for the dorsal fin there, so I just got to cut this out and then sandwich these two pieces onto this ply dorsal fin and then shape it. Now it all depends on which livery we're going to be doing, because not every Mustang actually has the dorsal fin, if I'm not mistaken. That I would have to double check, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put the dorsal fin regardless because it just looks more cooler, if that's even a thing. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I got that on there without messing up my vertical or horizontal stabilizer. At least everything is very clean at this joint here, and once I'm done, a little bit of filler basically will go a long way. Just a little bit. I'm not really packing this on with a lot of filler and type deal, because of course once we get to the fiberglassing state and finishing of this model, I'm going to be adding a lot of scale detail. So we'll take care of that when we get there. But for now, I think we're off to a good start after 2 years of hibernation, basically. Well, actually 2 years of hell, but yeah. So it is what it is. We're almost there, guys. Just as long as we get this fuselage done. Just waiting for the engine and the retracts, and then I can go ahead and close the wing. Once I enclose that wing and mount it on here, and install the engine, finish up the front end of the engine, the fuselage, and we are going to be that much closer to completing this model, or at least getting to the fun part, which is the detailing, the finishing, and all that other stuff. Once everything all comes together and you see the final result, that's what I strive for. It's always fun. But anywho, alright guys, so what I'm doing right now is basically I'm sanding the dorsal fin area. And so this part right here, and what this is, I'm getting that shape. This is the leading edge of the fin, and this is going to kind of hug the leading edge of this vertical fin here. And so when this thing gets put on here, it's gonna sandwich the dorsal fin ply and wrap around this portion of the fin. And then from there, you can basically sand this and blend it in, probably a little bit of filler, and blend everything else in, and you should be good to go. Yeah. But this goes first, and then this gets sandwiched. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue them all together first. I'm going to laminate this together like such, as best as I can, just like that. As you can see, where's the camera? It's kind of beveled, or per se, in the front, and this would get glued on like that. And before that actually gets completely glued on, I'm going to actually start shaping this. I'll leave this the way it is, but I'll start shaping the rest, get that contour and everything. So yeah. So what I'm doing right now, well, I already have done it, is this part right here. Let me see if I can. So the extension portion of the elevator on both sides, this piece right here, if you go back in the video, you would see it was straight out, And so when I looked at some of the actual photos online, this piece is tapered, you know, kind of like a 45 going in, and it's very shallow on the side of the fuselage, and it kind of blends in with a little taper into the fuse. And so I went ahead and basically cut that. And so when I did that, I ended up having to add to the tip to give it that 45 as well. And so now the elevator is not just straight back like I originally had it. And so it's just the small little things. It doesn't matter, you know, but at the end of the day, when it's flying, nobody's gonna see that. It's just, I think this is gonna do more sitting than it is flying, so nah. Just like the P40 and stuff. So have my fun with it. So yeah, so as you can see, now the elevator is more at a 45 at the tips. So went ahead and did that. I noticed that on the real P51, this actually comes out a little bit more. So it actually comes out like right about here. You know, so I'm like, okay. But, oh well, it is what it is. This is the only material I have for the elevators. And I don't know, I'll have to look back a few seconds here because I don't know if I said this was ailerons. I don't know. Something's wrong with my brain today. But anywho, went ahead and did that. Did this last night. So I added some plastic wood here. This is still protruding out just a little bit, so I'm gonna have to sand this a little bit more thinner so that we don't have to use so much wood filler here. Right now it's just a smidge like that. So I'm gonna fix that eventually, because nothing here is final sanded, so we're still in that stage. This part in the sheeting here, this is not a gap. Well, originally was a gap, but because the thin CA or the medium CA and a little bit of sanding and stuff, and that filled it up. So this line is smooth. There's no indentation or anything like that. It just gives it that look. But yeah, so for the most part, everything here very smooth. There's no ridges or anything. I like it. It's turning out pretty good. And also the bottom of this as well, I went ahead and I added some plastic wood right here as well, and that's to also give a little curvature running underneath the horizontal stabilizer. Now I was gonna do that later after it's glassed. I was gonna use a little bit of body filler to do all that, but I figured, you know what the hey, just do it now. And plus this wood filler is lighter than body filler anyway, so yeah, it is what it is. So once I sand this as well, it's gonna look exactly like the balsa, and it's gonna look very clean. And yeah, also got to take care of this part right here, kind of blend this in a little bit more, since the middle here is the ply. I would have to kind of grind that down just a little bit so I can get that smooth transition into the fin. But right now it has a little bump, and I thought I was gonna be able to fix that right when, you know, I put it on, but yeah, it's irritating me now. So eventually I'm gonna fix that. You know me, I try to fix this. To me, it's irritating. To me, it's small or it's big. So most people, they'd be like, just fly it, nobody's gonna see it. Yeah. I like to always do justice to, the models that I built. Try to get it as close to, scale, the real. Depends if I really want to do all that work though. At this point right now in time, I'm just excited to be back on this thing. I just had my appointment this morning for my neck, and so I'm gonna be scheduled right now for another medial branch block test number 1. This time, changing the location of the injection. My first medial branch block failed a few weeks ago. It didn't give me any relief, so apparently they're in the wrong location. And so they were further down on my traps on that injection. So this time they're going to be doing back again in the road of getting the RFA ablation done to my cervical spine. Medial branch block 1 is scheduled for next month, or no, the 26th of July. So they're going to be doing C3, C4, C4, C5 instead of what they did last time, which was C6, C7, and 8. So yeah, hopefully they can get rid of this pain, because my RFA ablation, I didn't realize that it's already going on my 6th month that I had the RFA ablation for my lumbar spine. I was wondering why I'm feeling kind of achy in my lower back again. The pain, the achiness has always been there, but it's getting more amplified now. And I'm thinking maybe because I'm building, because I'm standing here and I'm building this, but I also sit down on my stool. But I don't know. For the past 3 days, it's been really, I can feel the back pain coming back. Anywho, that's that. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this for now, and I don't want to final sand this or anything like that just yet, because we still need to do a little bit more things on this fuselage, but I can't do that until we get the engine in and also the retracts. I need the main retract so that I can finish enclosing the wing. That way I can properly mount the wing onto the fuse. That way I can also finish up the fillet on the wing. And I was thinking I can do the fillet now without the wing. I could just put it in and follow that contour, but I want to make sure everything is butted up nice and tight, the wing and all that stuff, and it's in the proper position. So just like the finishing up with the front nose, I got all the materials right here, all the blocks and the ring for the front nose, but I need the engine so I can mount this and the spinner back plate and all that stuff, so we can get this properly aligned and contoured and everything. So other than that, yeah, this P51 Mustang sitting for 2 years. The last time I touched this was 2 years ago, as far as working on it. And so I wish I never had stopped it, but there's a lot of things going on. I had no choice. Guys. But, yeah. I'm wearing my what you call this, headlamp on here, just so I can see, because I got poor lighting in here. It's just a bed from our third bedroom, so it is what it is. But I don't know if you guys can see me, because I can't even see myself. So there you go. Utilizing the mirror in the background so I can see the screen and the camera. But anywho, I want to go ahead and just close out this video. And if you like content like this, you guys go ahead and stick around, and don't forget to click that like, subscribe to the channel. Let me take this off. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to comment. Comment what you want to see, what if you have any questions or whatnot in regards to the Top Flite P51D Mustang. This is the 1/7 scale. I think the 1/5 scale, pretty much the assembly is about the same with a little tweak, because of the size. But other than that, I'm looking forward to getting this P51D Mustang, into the realm of finishing, all that. That's the fun part. And once this one's done, I'm not too sure about the DC3 just yet. Not too sure. But I do really want to build a giant scale P51D Mustang. I want to build a giant scale Corsair, and of course a Stinson Reliant SR9. So those are the three big builds that I want to do. So looking forward to that. But my all-time favorite model that I want to get my hands on and build is the Stinson Reliant by Top Flite. So I want to do the fabric covering and everything. So yeah. But anywho, so that's about it, guys. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be pretty much finishing up the fuselage, the wing, and all that. And then yeah, we'll see how far we go from there. So don't forget, like the channel, hit that like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Sheesh.